Oh, yes. Yes.
When it comes to exclusives, Sony's PlayStation brand has never really had much trouble, going all the way back to the PS1 era, and following its heritage, the PlayStation 4 has kicked things off reasonably well. Killzone Shadowfall was a deliciously good looking launch game, even though the razzle dazzle wore off pretty quickly. Fast forward a few months though, and now we have inFamous Second Son. For those of you not familiar with the PlayStation 3 exclusives, inFamous 1 and 2, the series is an original comic book themed third person action game, conjured up by Sucker Punch. Whilst the first two games saw you control Cole McGrath, a bike courier who gained his electrical based powers after surviving a large explosion, Second Son sees you control a new character named Delson Rowe, who, unlike Cole, who could manipulate electricity, Delson's powers allow him to absorb the powers of other conduits. Minor story spoilers aside, a real shining star of Second Son is the graphics. It is truly a gorgeous game, with the PlayStation 4 showcasing its raw power from the off, street side puddles reflected in the light, swirling tufts of smoke surrounded by forearms as I attacked enemies. The whole city is beautifully realised, and every inch of it is jaw-dropping, be it on the ground, in the air, or on top of buildings, or even transporting like Nightcrawler through air vents. Each and every part of Second Son looks divine. Story-wise, Second Son takes a grittier, more realistic route than its two predecessors, and whilst that's not a bad thing, it is definitely a much more grounded and weightier approach, whilst keeping in tune with its comic theme roots. But more importantly, it pays off, even if the story quality does dip in and out from time to time. Veteran fans of the series and newcomers alike will instantly be at home with Second Son, which, aside from the aesthetics, is completely down to the great performance of Troy Baker. Baker's motion capture performance as our new conduit Delson is tactically believable, whether he's being a sarcastic, destructive supervillain or a plucky all-round do-gooder. But whilst Delson is not universally likeable, the chemistry with his law-defending brother Reggie makes for some decent banter as the two struggle to air their views. As a character, Delson is filled with equal parts angst and rebellious idealism, bundled in with the fact that he now wields such overwhelming destructive power, and Baker's mocap makes that inner conflict tense, interesting, and in all the right ways. The powers you unlock as you progress are utterly brilliant, with the skill trees now offering more options than previous inFamous games. Now you have the ability to either concentrate on one power or split your resources between multiple paths, with the unlockable powers now differing based on your moral alignment. Speaking of which, the series' famous morality system is the one thing that sticks out of this next gen title, as it seems horribly outdated. With the more good deeds you do, you fill your blue meter, whilst the more evil deeds, you fill the red. Sure, it works, but up to that point where Delson gets his powers, there's literally no indication that he'd want to harm or even kill nearby civilians, and seeing as he's still a plucky guy after, there's really no indication he'd want to do it after the incident. It's a minor niggle, and one that doesn't ruin the story or any of the gameplay by any means, but a more robust morality system would not have gone unwanted. Is inFamous Second Son perfect? No, not at all, but it's definitely one of the best next-gen titles that's come out since launch date, if not the best, and although a few minor parts hold it back, it's still an utterly outstanding game that's worthy of your time.